Breathtaking photographs captured in brightened night skies across the United States Sunday show what scientists say is the first of 3 consecutive supermoons to occur this winter, and the only one this year. Followed by tonight's spectacular, the supermoon trilogy will continue New Year's Day and conclude January 31st, while the final will also take place amid a lunar eclipse, according to a statement from NASA. Tonight's full cold moon glowed behind historic national monuments and landmarks such as the Statue of Liberty and U.S. Capitol. The cold moon appeared 14% larger and 30% brighter than usual across the planet. Supermoons are a great opportunity for people to start looking at the moon, not just that once but every chance they have. Research scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, Noah Petro said. The supermoon also made its spectacular appearance over Britain, giving sky gazers a treat as it moves closer to Earth. Tom Kurz, an astronomer at Royal Observatory Greenwich, said the exact moment of full moon, when the moon sits opposite the sun in the sky, which was 3:47 p.m. today in the United Kingdom. This year's cold moon is closer to us than the average full moon this year, close enough to qualify as a supermoon, according to the widely accepted definition. The moon will reach its highest point above the horizon at midnight local time. This is when, weather permitting, it will appear at its clearest and brightest. The moon has a slightly elliptical orbit, it does not move round the Earth in a perfect circle. At some points it is about 5% closer to Earth than average, known as perigee, and at others it is 5% further away, known as apogee. The full moon will be 222,761 miles from Earth, closer than its average 238,900 miles. Mr. Kurz said, during moonrise and moonset, you might think the moon looks unusually large, but this is an illusion created in the mind when it appears close to the horizon. In fact, the change in the moon's apparent size throughout its orbit is imperceptible to the unaided eye. Nevertheless, the moon illusion can be a dramatic effect, and with the moon rising so early, there will be ample opportunities to see its apparently huge face juxtaposed with the eastern skyline. For those wanting to see the Earth's natural satellite in greater detail, Mr. Kurz advises using binoculars or a telescope and observing the dark Maria, large, dark basaltic plains on the surface of the moon. What is a supermoon and how do I see it? As the moon orbits the Earth every month, there is a point in every cycle where the moon is closest, perigee, and a point where it's farthest away, apogee. There is also a monthly lunar cycle where we can see varying amounts of the moon depending on its position relative to Earth and the Sun. For a supermoon to happen, these need to line up, something that will occur tonight. The celestial body became totally full at 3:47 p.m. in the UK but will reach its peak brightness and size on Monday morning. The moon will be visible from Earth with the naked eye, just as it always is. Although the moon is the biggest and closest it can be to us, don't expect too much. Lyle Tavernier, an expert at NASA, said, keep in mind that a 14% increase in the apparent size of something that can be covered with a fingernail on an outstretched arm won't seem significantly bigger. Comparing a supermoon with a typical full moon from memory is very difficult. With the moon being as close to Earth as it is, there is a significant impact on the tides. When the moon is closest, the tide will be at its highest, and the same happens with a new or full moon. This happens on a monthly basis, but occasionally the